What is going on, everybody? We are back out here again with the Ninja 400 to talk about what is probably the most important upgrade you can make to the bike, and that being the exhaust. Now in this case, we're going to be talking about the cheapest exhaust that you can buy for the Ninja 400 on Amazon. It comes in at only $65, and as you can probably tell, it's already on the motorcycle. And I did that for a reason, because a lot of channels that do exhaust videos, they do the same cookie cutter style where they show you the packaging, they show you the unboxing, the installation, and then you only really see it idling for a few minutes and then the first couple ride by so you can hear the exhaust. But I wanted to do it a little bit differently, because who really cares about the packaging? As long as it arrives undamaged, the packaging doesn't matter because you're taking it out of it anyways and throwing that away. And then as far as installation, it's only a few bolts, and I trust that most of you guys are mechanically inclined enough to put a slip-on exhaust on a motorcycle. It's really not that hard. And finally, I wanted to put the exhaust through some real-world tests, because although it is the cheapest exhaust that you can buy for the Ninja 400, I wanted to make sure you're actually getting a half-decent product that's going to stand the test of time if it needs to remain on the motorcycle for a while, or you decide that the exhaust is good enough to keep on there forever. So far, the exhaust has been on the bike for about 1,500 miles, and we haven't experienced anything with peeling, discoloration, or anything like that so far. And it's also done long trips. We actually did a trip with this motorcycle where we went from Ohio all the way to New York, and it was about an 8-hour total ride on the motorcycle. And the exhaust did great, so that leaves little to no doubt that the exhaust is gonna hold up to heat for long durations and multiple heat cycles. Now, as far as the styling goes, it doesn't look too bad on the motorcycle. Like I said, you get this extension pipe right here that blends in well with the stock exhaust. And then the actual exhaust itself is a faux carbon fiber, which you can clearly tell is fake, but it's not the worst looking I've ever seen. If I hold it up next to my full carbon Two Brothers S1R, you can definitely see a difference right away, but overall it's not too bad. The only complaint with this exhaust, and you see a lot with cheap products like this, is the fit isn't exactly perfect. The angle on the extension pipe is a little too aggressive, and it causes the exhaust to point right at the tailpiece. So I was a little worried that on a long ride, the heat from the exhaust would start to melt that tailpiece. We've done a lot of time just sitting at idle where the exhaust is just hitting right on the tailpiece, and we haven't had any issues so far. And I don't foresee there being any issues. Plus, if you're into modifying your motorcycle, you're probably gonna do a tail tidy at some point anyways, which we also plan on doing. And I might do a video about that if you guys are interested. But that's enough about the exhaust. Let's go ahead and take a listen to it. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up and let you guys hear what it sounds like just sitting here idle with some dry revs. Keep in mind that the sound is gonna be coming from this Purple Panda lapel mic, so it's probably not gonna sound the best. It's gonna be missing the little bit of bass that it has, because something like this just isn't gonna pick that up. And keep that in mind when we actually hop on the bike, because it's gonna be the same lapel mic inside my helmet. So you are gonna get to hear the bike, but it's not gonna be its full potential and what it's actually gonna sound like in person. All right, guys, so we're getting going now. You can probably tell it's a lot brighter all of a sudden. It's because I actually didn't have the GoPro charged, so you know, things happen. But we're out here today to finish up the video. So right away, if you guys have a Ninja 400, you can tell that there's a huge difference in the sound with this slip-on. But it's nothing that's ear-piercing or anything that's going to be annoying. It definitely isn't drony at all. And I hope you guys can hear it, because it has a nice little bit of rasp to it that's really enjoyable and gives it a little bit of character, which is something you don't tend to get out of parallel twins. And like I said earlier, I'm using a Purple Panda lapel mic that's inside my helmet. So whatever you guys are hearing now should be a good representation of what it's going to be like to actually ride the bike. It's definitely not an awful sound, and in the lower RPMs it's still quiet enough that if you guys are worried about sound or you want something that's not too aggressive for your neighborhood or whatever, this is definitely going to be a good option for you. You can hear when it gets up in the higher RPMs, it doesn't sound tinny or anything like that. It has a nice, good sound to it, especially for the price. and hopefully the mic was able to pick it up, but it does have an awesome D-cell gurgle, and when you downshift, you'll occasionally get a little pop on the exhaust, and it sounds so good. So there you go. Hopefully you guys were able to hear a good bit of the exhaust and make a decision. I mean, for $65, what is there to really complain about? The exhaust obviously has pretty decent construction because it's held up for a good little bit on this Ninja 400. It doesn't have an awful sound. It doesn't sound tinny or anything like that. You get some good gurgles on diesel with some exhaust pops here and there, and it's definitely not going to hurt the bike whatsoever. And on top of that, with it only being a slip-on, you're not going to need a tune. So if you're looking for a budget option to throw in a Ninja 400, this is easily one of the best exhausts you're going to be able to get for the price. And in all honesty, if it's the only exhaust that you want to buy for your Ninja 400, that's perfectly fine too. You could throw this on here and leave it on here for probably 5 or 10 years, and I definitely don't foresee there being any issues whatsoever with this exhaust. So that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys end up picking one up, come back to this video and leave a comment down below to let me know what you think. Also, I'm going to throw an email address up on screen. If you want me to review your bike or car, because I also do some car content, go ahead and send some pictures and some details for the motorcycle or car that you're sending. And eventually when I get enough, I'll either do a rate, a roast, or maybe just judge them overall and just see what I'm feeling that day. But like I said, when I get enough, I'll go ahead and put that video out. But with that being said, hopefully you guys have a good one, and I'll be seeing you around.